Hey guys, this is your friend Iggy back again. So I'm bringing you the completed boss build. Alright, so I've already installed all the drivers, did all my optimization. I didn't overclock it because, well, I don't have a lot of time with it. But I wanted to show you guys just how it looks, how it feels, how it sounds, how it performs a little bit too. Now, the computer is off. You hear how quiet that is, right? Okay, so now I'm going to turn it on. Alright, she boots pretty quick, right? So, can get faster, but again, I didn't want to tweak it too long, spend too much time on it. So, again, the system is using the Asus TUF Z370 Plus motherboard, gaming motherboard, as well as a Core i7 8700 processor. It's not a Plus. I'm sorry, it's not a K, so you can't really overclock it as far. You can overclock it, just not as much. It's using the Arctic Freezer Esports E33-1 CPU cooler. It's also using the EVGA GeForce GTX 1080 Ti FTW3. So let me bring you in a little bit closer. Alright, so we can see CPU cooler right there along with the RAM. The RAM, it's kind of hard to tell, but it is LED lit. You see the white light coming from right around there. It's very dim. Okay, and then we can see back here, these are the lights that are actually breathing from the motherboard itself. Now you can configure it, you can change it however you like. Pretty cool feature there. Alright, so you can see down here as the D drive, it's a 970 EVO Samsung drive, a 1 terabyte. Then down here, now you can't really see it because it's behind this heat shield, but there's another 970 EVO 1 terabyte drive. Now that little heatsink cools it down by as much as 20 degrees in my testing. You can see here that's a 4-port USB 3.0 card. Okay, and then for storage purposes, the E drive, it's a Samsung Ironwolf, or I'm sorry, a Seagate Ironwolf drive, 8 terabytes. Now, he does have a lot of programs on disk. So, he does have a CD drive as well. So, bringing you around the front, this is the Fractal Design Define. Okay, we can see that right up here. Now, it's hidden in case you don't want an optical. You don't need one, but I also changed the door. It opens up by default this way. I changed it to open up this way. Okay, and then he also wanted a great pair of headphones. I've been using these for a little while. Sound Blaster X H7 Tournament Edition. I took off the microphone from this one just for right now. It does come with a microphone. Alright, so again, it has the OS on this drive down here, and I've done all the benchmarks and I'll stream them across now. This is the fastest drive I have tested. Super fast. And then I also tested this guy here, but more for temperature. And then, as I mentioned before, because of that heatsink down there, there's a 20%, or I'm sorry, a 20-degree reduction in heat. That's pretty impressive. Alright, so then over here is the Acer Predator Z321QU. This is a 32-inch curved display. Might be able to tell there a little bit. She is beautiful. Now, another thing about this monitor is not only is it a curved display, it's 144 hertz, but you can actually overclock it to 165 hertz. So let me show you a little something real quick. All right, so along the back, you're going to push the second from the top button. Then you're going to push the trigger button, I should say, back here, inwards. Then you're going to come down here. Then it's going to show you a little OSD on here, on-screen display. All right, so when you first press this button, when you first take it out of the box, you'll go into menu, which is another push of that button. Then you'll see this menu here. We'll go down to gaming. You might see this off. So we'll just click again. We'll go ahead and overclock. We'll turn that on. Press it down. Then we get the option here for 165. Sometimes it'll be 144, but you could bump it up. So now to apply that, you have to hit apply and reboot. Then you'll get this message pop up. And I'm going to zoom out. And you'll see the Acer Predator, NVIDIA G-Sync. Okay, and then it'll tell you G-Sync has been enabled. So we'll just right click on the desktop, NVIDIA control panel. Okay. So then we'll see right over here, it says 165. Now, when I originally did this, it was at 60 hertz. Even though I bumped it up down there, it showed 60 hertz. So I just had to bump it up here to 165, and then hit apply. Just because you set it down there doesn't mean it's applied, so you have to do that manually. Then just make sure over here under Setup G-Sync that it says right up here, enable G-Sync for full screen mode. So that's how to enable G-Sync, and then also how to enable the 165 hertz. So this monitor has been amazingly impressive, and let me show you maybe a 3D Mark run real quick. All right, so I'll just start up 3D Mark right over here. And I'll just run a quick pass of Time Spy. Now mind you, I'm not going to run through the whole thing because I don't want to bore you with it, but just to show you, how cool it looks and just how great it plays. And to not bore you with the entire benchmark, because it'll take a few minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and pass the score that it received right here. It's a pretty impressive score. All right, so again, none of this is overclocked. It is a base system. He's not only going to be using it for gaming, but he's going to be using it for, CAD rendering, 3D CAD modeling, and SolidWorks, AutoCAD, stuff like that. All right, so let me go ahead and just let you see the monster real quick. Well, I'm going to end that here. So, all right, so that was just, a quick rundown of it. Now I'm going to show you some... Go to some Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. and show you options real quick. Let's bump it up. I tested in 3 different resolutions. All right, everything very high. And I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. Just going to do a quick bench on that. Again, I'm not going to go through the end. All right, and just again to show you here, everything very high. That's how I tested. Going back, and then go back again, and then we'll just go through a quick bench. I know I don't have frames per second up, but just to show you how quick it is, how smooth it is as well. Then I'm going to pass by some of the benchmarks as well. I tested at 1680. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. Aside from, doing frames per second and everything, as I showed you, I've done thermals as well. I've shown you with the side panel removed, but I did the testing, of course, with the side panels on. So let's jump into some Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. All right, so just to show you some of the options. Okay, because again, I did test in 1680 by 1050. I tested at 1920 by 1080. And then also 2560 by 1440. All right, and then let's go ahead and jump to a test real quick. I think it was under, no. There we go. All right, so here you can actually see some of the scores, frames per second. But regardless of that, I am scrolling them across the screen just now. So I'll go ahead and zoom out. See just how great and how beautiful she runs. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of that. Now let's see some The Division. Pretty awesome game if you haven't played it. The network connection might not be the greatest. I'm running off of Wi-Fi downstairs. So, sorry if this part takes a little bit, but I'll probably just go ahead and fast forward it. Alright, so let's just get out of here. We'll go into options, benchmark, and actually just make sure, yeah, let's bump that one up. And I make sure, because I do have a 165 hertz monitor. If the monitor does have the option, I will bump that up. Let's go ahead and start it. All right, so another beautiful game. This one actually in the top left-hand corner, you can see right up here, it does actually show you the frame rate. So 115. The game is not only beautiful, but it has a pretty awesome storyline, and the gameplay itself is pretty awesome. This was New York. So, just gonna run you through where you see some of the people fighting. And then I'm also going to scroll across here some benchmarks. Pretty impressive. So I'm just going to go ahead, well, I'll let you see the scores that pop up, but pretty impressive. Every single game I've thrown at it runs great. Every single benchmark runs amazing. And that's on a single card. GeForce GTX 1080 Ti FTW3 EVGA. And mind you, I'm not surprised. It is a 1080 Ti. She runs amazing. So you can see the scores there. So pretty awesome. But we'll go ahead and get out of this real quick. So I've configured it. These are all my benchmarks and everything. I need to put them on disk. So 1 terabyte for the C drive, then the other 1 terabyte, the other Samsung 970 EVO for the secondary storage, and then that 8 terabyte for all his videos and pictures and all the 3D modeling that is huge. And then, well, we have the optical here. So that's how I set it up. And well, again, she runs great. In the description below, I'm going to list every single part that I've used in this system. And then, of course, I'll go ahead and list also the mouse and the keyboard. This is the, just in case, the brand new HyperX. You will see the Pulsefire FPS Pro. You've seen it unboxing already. You'll see more coming soon. And then a Cougar Attack X3 keyboard. An old one I just had laying down here, just for testing purposes. And well, that's about it. So this is the first time I've had the pleasure of using a monitor that does over 60 hertz. It is amazing. The games and everything just look so much more smooth. You don't see flashing screen, which if you're used to 60 hertz, you may not notice it. But now I'm going to have to go back to my 60 hertz monitor, and it might be kind of painful. But well, this is the Boss build. Beautiful build. I'm kind of disappointed to let it go. Took a little bit longer. I had actually an issue with Windows 10 installing it, updating to the 1803 update. I installed the machine 3 different times, and mind you, I've done 1803 on my own machine, but for some reason 1803 would not work on this machine. So I went back down to the 17 version and she worked fine. I put the updates on hold for 40 days. By that time, they should have a fix for 1803's fix and should help it work. But again, you'll see all the parts in the description below. All the benchmarks I've already scrolled by. Let me know what you guys think, and you'll see more from me soon. Iggy out. See you guys.